I always have a hard time starting, and then I just kind of have to reset, reset, reset. Yeah, whatever. This is I Need More Cowbell, and today is Monday, June 20th, 2016. Month's already over. Ah, already over. Let's see here. Last week, I recorded with some excitement from the E3 that happened already, which was EA and Bethesda. I think somebody else was also on there too. Pretty excited about a little bit of EA's lineup, anyways. Titanfall 2. When I first bought my Xbox One, it was a Titanfall launch unit, and so it came with Titanfall. Wait, did it? I think it was a digital copy, and I had to buy it. I don't remember. I think I had to buy the actual game. So I really love Titanfall. It was a great multiplayer game. Sure, there was no campaign in it at all, but giant robots, man. And there's just something about being in your mech, and then you have your chain gun, and you're just shooting at another robot, and you see their health, falling down, and you see them getting worse and setting on fire. I really like that. That's something I enjoyed in Sins of a Solar Empire, which was having all these spaceships blowing up the other races' spaceships. Just something about all the firepower hitting the ships, I don't know what it is. I think, and that's what I like about playing Halo 2 is just running up and shooting people with my SMG and then punching them in the face. So Titanfall 2 is coming out. It looks great. There's going to be a Skyrim remake, which is going to be nice because it's going to include it's going to allow mods. It's going to support mods, and that's going to be very beautiful. Now, I just realized I didn't preface this, but I don't think I'm going to make a recap for E3 like I said I would, because I'm just so freaking far behind in everything I'm doing. There's a lot of videos up online right now. If I can do it in the next 2 or 3 days, I mean, I have all the videos on my desktop. If I can do it in the next 2 or 3 days, I'll do it. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and I gotta watch the conferences again. I know there was some news that came out afterwards that I didn't follow up on, and I'm just one guy. I'll get to it if I can. 2 or 3 days. I got till Thursday, anyways. So get back. Obviously, this is a recap then, if I do a full one, anyways. What else did I see? I didn't actually see the EA conference. I didn't see the Bethesda conference because I was working during that time. But on Monday, I wanted to order a pizza from work. Pick it up, bring it back, have a nice big pizza and a delicious soda beverage, and watch the Microsoft conference in peace until I found out that the conference was at 9:30 in the morning, and my place doesn't even open up till 10:30. So that plan went out the window. Instead, I recorded this podcast, and then I rushed out and I got Cane's. I don't know if anybody knows what that is. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. And at first I didn't like them, but I've grown to enjoy their breaded goodness. And I got back. I ended up watching like some of the conference on the way back, on the drive back, and it was funny. It's like right out of the gate, Microsoft shows off the Xbox One S, and be like, "Hey, this is my new system, and it's going to be smaller and a little bit more powerful. And fuck you, Sony. It's going to be what, like $299, right? $299, 500 gig hard drive, internal, power supply, this and that." So that comes out in August. Am I going to get one? I'd like to. I'd like to get one. That way I could use my Xbox One and either put it in the living room here or let my parents use it, because then they'll have, like, my mom wants a Roku, and if she had this, she'd be able to watch her shows on Hulu and Netflix and all this and that, and it would be nice. I mean, I like my big. I don't know. This is going to be the Duke box now, just like the original Xbox was huge. Of course, there was no remake of the original Xbox that made it smaller. So that's coming out. They had a lot of trailers. I can't really remember offhand right now. The main thing they love to say and specify was Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive. I'm sure you got your fill of that good stuff last week. Let's see here. They showed one of them that they didn't say that on is Dead Rising 4, which is what I'm really excited about. I even tweeted. Information was leaked earlier in the previous week, and I showed up a picture of the game cover. But they showed actual gameplay. I don't like the way Frank West looks, and the reason is because he doesn't look like, he looks a little like Frank West, but he looks more like the actor in the live action commercial. That was a live action commercial, right? That wasn't CGI. I mean, his smile was creepy, but that was a real commercial, wasn't it? Real person playing as Frank. So there's going to be combo weapons again, and you're in the apparently the game's like 16 years from the first game. I don't know. I'm sure there's like a real storyline to follow along with this, and I'll just go along with it. Instead of being in a whole new place, they're going to just go back to Willamette, and you'd think that after the first original outbreak, they just scrap the city, just take down the whole town. What else are they going to do about it? Glass it, right? That's kind of what they did with Vegas in the story mode. Is they after the outbreak, I think they just bomb it, and then that's why they made the new one. I forgot what it's called, of course, but the new one in Dead Rising 2 with the good old Chuck Green. See here, what else they have? They showed Halo Wars 2, which everybody knew about, and there was some leaks going on there, and I kind of stayed away from those. There's a beta out, which I got to play. I wasn't sure if I should link the podcast video with Halo Wars 2 gameplay. Not sure if anybody would really like that, so I just stuck with some Halo 5 still. But I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna be playing Halo 5 in the background for this video every week. But we'll see. What else? Forza Horizon 3. I like Forza Horizon 2. That came with my Xbox. I bought my Xbox on eBay, so I got like 5 games with it. Anyways, Forza Horizon 3. They showed some Recore. They showed more of that, which looks nice. What else did they show? I don't know. They showed a lot of games. Let's see here. There was Ubisoft. Oh, Ubisoft, man. It started off with Just Dance. It was like nobody's really excited. It's funny because I don't think anybody who watches E3 is actually excited for Just Dance. Have I ever played it? No. Am I more of a Dance Dance Revolution type of guy? Yes. Did I was it Dance Central? Yeah, actually I did. Have I played any of it recently in the last 2 or 3? No, I haven't played it. But I still have my Kinect, and I think I got the third one. All right, Dance Central 3. I think whenever I just get around to it, I was going to play the Kinect games on Twitch, but I'll figure something out. Aisha Taylor came on. I don't know what it is. I want to like her, but I don't seem to be able to. I think it's just because she gives off that feeling that she knows she's hated. No, and she even pretty much said it's like why am I here again? It's not because they're paying me enough. They're French. It's just something about, it's like Matt Stone and Trey Parker. They are great in the South Park series. Their show South Park is always a good show to watch. They always hit topics on the head, and they always have great storytelling, and the episodes are always fun. But like year after year, whenever they come out to promote their game, they don't give a fuck. And I mean, it's a breath of fresh air. They keep saying it's like, oh, we weren't gonna make another game, and yet they had, and they keep making a game. I don't know how the sales of Stick of Truth are, or any of the South Park games, but the quality in them is really nice. It's literally just looking at like a show almost. But they don't want to be out there. They don't give a fuck about being out there. And it looks like that for Aisha Taylor too. She's 6 feet tall. 6 feet tall. That's crazy. I don't see too many tall people. Tall ladies, anyways. I mean, oh man. At least she didn't go out into the audience like she did last year. That was terrible. That poor guy with his dink memes clothes. Of course, there was somebody else that did that, apparently. I think that was at the E3 conference. Like I said, I didn't watch the E3 conference, but I did see that cringe compilation. Oh, God, that reminded me of that Minecraft portion of the Microsoft conference. I am not a fan of Minecraft in the slightest. And, I mean, sure, maybe I like it a little bit more because it's now Microsoft owned. Little fanboyism, I guess, right? The only reason why I like Microsoft so much is they kind of picked up the torch of Sega at the end of the Dreamcast life. But man, that Minecraft portion of the conference. Excuse me. What I remember is in the conference last year, they showed their Microsoft Glass, didn't they? That looked really nice. And they had nothing to show for it this year. They just wanted to show games, which was great. And all the games they showed were pretty much Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusives. Oh yeah, Scorpio. Microsoft's Xbox codename Scorpio console. I don't. They're doing forward compatibility. They wanted to make a console that gives developers more power to deal with. And what it looks like is it's going to still fragment and increase development cost production. Okay, it's like now I got the Xbox One to develop for, and then the Xbox S to develop for, and then the Xbox Scorpio to develop for. And they're all slightly different specs. Obviously, the Scorpio is much, much higher. The nitty-gritty wasn't released. And then Sony also announced their PlayStation Neo, but they didn't show it at all at the conference. So now you have two competing console formats with 5 different iterations of them. Now, I assume there's going to be tools in place. So they say, all right, if you develop for the Scorpio, you can just easily downgrade across the other two, right? That's what I assume from a development standpoint is, that the systems are all going to be in line with each other, and they're all going to be easy to develop for. And obviously, because there's also Windows 10 versions of the games, that's a 4th iteration on specs. And of course, when it comes to Windows 10, they got to have a broader scope of the game being able to work on multiple hardwares. I'm looking forward to it. It's a pain in the ass. Am I out there developing right now on these systems? No. But it's going to be interesting next year. Apparently, Sony's conference, they didn't show the PlayStation Neo, as they're calling it, but apparently they did like to take a jab and say that the power for VR is available this year because the Scorpio is supposed to include the power for VR next year for Microsoft. So Sony likes to do their little jabs, but they kind of fell apart. They kind of backpedaled in an interview. Like they when Microsoft first announced the Xbox One, they jumped at the fact that their system was more powerful, and their PlayStation 4 was more powerful. They jumped at it, and they ran with it. And they ran with it, and they ran with it. And then now this year, when they find out that their Neo is not going to be as powerful as the Scorpio, they're like, well, it's not about the power. It's not about the raw power. It's about the story, and this and that. So they like to change their word just to whatever fits them. But what kind of company doesn't do that, anyways? Let's see here. They had Old Man. Oh yeah, Gears of War 4, right? That looked better. They showed off Marcus Phoenix. I want to keep going back to Microsoft. Doesn't remember shit. Old Man Marcus Phoenix. I hope there's a skin to play as Old Man Marcus Fingers. Marcus Fingers. I hope there's a skin that I play as. I don't even remember. Papa Marcus Fingers in the first in Gears of War 3. I don't. Adam Phoenix. I don't remember what the hell his name was. Marcus's dad. The only reason I played Gears of War so much, especially Gears of War 3 multiplayer so much, was because I got to play as the dad. That's the only reason I played so much. I'd like it if he's back. I know he's dead, and I know it's, like 30 years in the future. So, I mean, he'd be, only 80, 90 years old? I don't care. Going back over to the PlayStation conference. You had Old Man Kratos, with also a beard. I missed like a half an hour because I completely forgot what time it was. I missed a half an hour of the conference, and I know they showed Days Gone, I think it was, in the beginning. So at the end, I got to see it. And that looks great. I don't know what it is about PlayStation games, but their games always look beautiful. And it's like they're really utilizing the hardware. And I guess maybe it's because their consoles are so much more powerful, right? The PS4 was PS3 is more powerful than the Xbox 360. So Last of Us looks great. Uncharted looks great. Same thing for the PS4. But it can't be so huge in power, right? Between the PS4 and the Xbox One. But anyways, the game looked great. They had all these zombies on screen. It was like Left 4 Dead and in higher quality. Those little zombies were just climbing up the set path. I mean, if there was a spot to climb, it looked like they were climbing it. I don't know if they were climbing that water tower he stood on the end. But it just looked good. It looked good, and I'd like to play that. What else? They showed naked Norman Reedus with his pregnancy scar. USB flash drives around his neck. Good old Kojima game. I believe that's a PlayStation exclusive. What else? I'm not a fan of Crash Bandicoot. I've never been a fan of Crash Bandicoot, but then again, I've always been a Sonic fan. So one would not expect me to be a fan of Crash Bandicoot. But should I? Maybe, because obviously being a fan of Sonic, I know that a lot of the development team from Sega of America, or Sonic Team of America, detected drop samples. What the hell does that mean? Anyways, a lot of the teams from a lot of the members from Sonic Team of America that worked on, I believe, 2 and 3 and Knuckles, they went off and formed Naughty Dog, which obviously made the Crash Bandicoot games and the Uncharted and such. And even from there, I don't know which one specifically, but ex-Naughty Dog members created, I think, Big Red Button, and they're the ones who made Sonic Boom, which had a huge flop, and of course that's Sega and Nintendo's fault. And if you don't know that, it's because near the end of the development, they were working on Sonic Boom for the 360 and the PS3, and they were using the CryEngine. But then Sega struck that deal with Nintendo to make 3 games exclusive with them, and the CryEngine doesn't work on the Wii U, so they had to scrap the engine and try to port the engine over to some Wii U garbage, and it didn't go well. It did not go well. So maybe there is a you know what I didn't think about? Maybe there's a CryEngine version of Sonic Boom somewhere out there that actually runs great. And I hear the stories is bad, and it's funny because the cartoon is amazing. It's a fun cartoon, but it seems like the cartoon was developed alongside the show, but not with any information from the show. Anyways, I don't even know. I shouldn't be talking about that because I was talking about the Sony, right? Sony conference. Jeez. What else? I don't know. I don't really care. There's the Crash Bandicoot remakes. I'm sure people are excited about that, and that's good, right? They showed off Spider-Man. That was looking good. I didn't care much for Sunset Overdrive, but I'm aware of Insomniac's ability to make games, and that Spider-Man game looks awesome. Of course, it's going to be a Sony exclusive because Sony still has the rights for the fucking Spider-Man series, even though Marvel's making a movie about it. What else? The next day, I'm sure there was a conference in between. There was like a PC conference, which I didn't really follow along with. It was like a weird game show format. Not a game show, like a talk show host format. And it seemed uncomfortable. And the AMD lady, she brought out all these different graphic cards. She brought out a small graphic card that said this one is for pro gamers. Now, why is the least powerful card for pro gamers? I'm sure I'm missing something there. The next day, Nintendo had a conference, or a treehouse event thing. And to my knowledge, because I couldn't watch the whole thing, they only showed off Pokemon, which had a Mexican standoff battle, I suppose, of 4 people playing now. And then you can change your trainer to be brown. I guess that's what I saw, because I saw white versions and brown versions of the exact same character model. And the brown versions didn't look right. That, like, the hair and the skin tone were exactly the same. They also showed off Link, or Zelda Breath of the Wind of Fire or something. I don't know. It was cel shaded, so it looked good. But like, all the mechanics of it was just amazing. You can cut down trees. Is that the wind that I'm hearing? Oh, it's a garbage truck. You can cut down trees. You can set fire to grass. You can do all kinds of amazing things. And it just looked nice. The weapons break, which I guess sucks, but if I'm cutting down all these trees and the wood bundles up nicely, I hope I'm able to blacksmith my weapons, make them a little stronger. But it looks great. It's coming out for the Wii U and the Nintendo NX, whatever the hell that is, whenever the hell that comes out, probably next year. I'm not a fan of the Wii U. I don't like that big ass keyboard controller thing. It's just too big and clunky. Maybe, I don't know. I don't have one. I think that's a good enough recap, right? For that. A little bit more of the Sonic news is the week before they showed off some new Lego Dimension characters. They showed off the addition of Mr. T, Gremlins, E.T., a lot of 80s movie reference. They showed off Ghostbusters, but it's the Lady Ghostbusters they showed off. They didn't show off. Apparently, there's only like Bill Murray's character, I think, right? and the vehicle from the original Ghostbuster series, and then of course they add all three of the women. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said three. There's four. There's four women. All four of the women in the game, and I wonder how that movie is gonna do. I don't even remember when it's coming out. I think it's next month, right? I'm not looking forward to it. But of course, I was surprised they also showed off Adventure Time. There's gonna be an Adventure Time set and Teen Titans Go. Now everybody hates Teen Titans Go, and it's completely understandable. And I 100% agree with you on pretty much 99% of everything about Teen Titans Go. But if you disregard that last 1%, you actually tend to enjoy the show. I do, anyways. When I really just want to watch something that's dumb, I watch Teen Titans Go, and I really enjoy it. They no longer, the people in charge of that show no longer give a fuck, and they make that show however they want. This last episode, they were dressed up. They were all about the ninja action. You know, what kid didn't want to be a ninja? What adult still doesn't want to be a ninja? So they were all about the ninja. They were all about the ninja action. And what the hell was that all about? All about the ninja action. And Robin was using the team to break into, I don't remember that, the one villain that's just a brain, break into his fortress. That's what I think it was, because all the enemies were robots. Anyways, they break into that fortress to get a MacGuffin, and they never specify what a MacGuffin is until the very end, when it's an bacon and egg and cheese MacGuffin, which is a McMuffin, a McDonald's breakfast sandwich was the goal of the episode, but they called it a MacGuffin. It's dumb. The only reason why I bring up Legos Dimensions is because they showed off Sonic Legos. Exciting, I suppose. I really don't care about Lego Dimension. If anything, I would have liked Sonic Infinity, the Disney tie-in. I think that would have worked out nice, because he probably would have had a nicer character model. But I mean, the Lego looks good. I'm not a fan of the Lego games in general. I mean, I just talked about Teen Titans Go in a positive light, and I can't say the same thing about Legos. That's silly. I mean, my niece and nephew loved the demos that I had on the Xbox 360, but they never wanted me to, they didn't really care if I got one or not, an actual game. The demo was enough for them. Just building stuff, and I think it's because I liked playing with Legos in a tangible form instead of in a digital form. I don't know, that's probably why I didn't like Minecraft either. But maybe I'm not giving them a shot. I don't know. So there's going to be, now I got to buy Lego Dimension characters, and at least Sonic. And it's like I think the gamepad is like what? It's like $60, right? You get that gamepad thing to throw in your character. But all I really want is Sonic. Can I just get the Sonic? I mean, I got a Sonic amiibo. I mean, sure, I got it as a gift from a friend, but I don't even have a 3DS, which I need to get a 3DS or a Wii U. But I got the amiibo. It's in the case. Let's see here. I guess that's all the gaming information I got right now. 30 minutes of gaming talk. Slight recap bullshit. Tuesday, I completed my remodel of my room. I basically, what I did was I changed my regular sitting desk to a standing desk, because my sitting chair is just so goddamn uncomfortable now, and I can't buy a chair right now, so I just changed my desk over to a standing desk. and then my feet are killing me so bad, but it's better now. I guess I just got used to it, used to standing so much. I changed my desk to standing, so now I'm standing right here. I've been standing for the last half hour talking about shit, and I'm okay. I feel better. I do feel better in general for standing more than I do sitting, which is nice. Like I said, because between working on the computer and delivering pizzas in my tiny car, I do a lot of sitting. What I also did was I didn't stream on Twitch on Monday, I think, or Tuesday, because of the increased space that changing my room around caused, and the camera would pick up extra. I made a green screen for streaming on Twitch, and the camera basically just barely fit within the size of the green screen. So on Tuesday or Wednesday or some shit, I got a bunch more material. I think like what? I think only 3 yards, not too much. And somehow I still ended up screwing it up. I'm like, what is that? I think 6 or 7 inches short on one side. So that's kind of funny. But I increased the size of the green screen. So now it covers wall to ceiling, ceiling to floor, and wall to wall. It's like, I don't know, 10 by 12 square that I made. 10 by 12. 10 high. It's like a 12 by 12 because it's like 2 feet on the ground also. So it just covers up completely behind me, and I like it. I mean, sure, like, what are you gonna see if I took the screen down? You'll see my closet and you'll see my bathroom door. No big deal. But I just like having the green screen. Nobody needs to see that. I go, the whole point of Twitch is to play games, and then I have that like a little jacket type of thing that I put on, and it covers up my whole body except for my head and my hands. Of course, I had gloves for my hands, but those are too tight. So I streamed a couple times last week. I streamed Halo Wars 2 beta. They had the domination mode, which wasn't really that fun because you just, every time there's 5 domination points. You hold 1 domination point, and each team, each side, 2 people per side, have 5,000 points. So as you collect domination points, tickets, that's what they call it, tickets. As you collect domination points, it reduces their tickets. So when they run out of tickets, the game ends. Those games ended up being like real fast. Either I got destroyed because they collected all the domination points and I couldn't play fast enough to get those domination points back, or like my teammate got disconnected or quit or whatever. So then it's just me, and then I think I only lost like 2 games during my placement match. That 2 games, which were literally just me getting my bases destroyed. That's not bad. And then on Thursday or Friday, they switched over to skirmish deathmatch style. I think I only got to play two games during Twitch on those days. On Friday. Yeah, it was Friday. And those are a lot more fun, but man, that unit cap is horrible. They said that they're going to take out the unit cap of 80 units. And it's not like, and it's like teams, right? Like a vulture, I think, was 9 units, and then Marines are like 3 units. So there's nothing that was like 1 or 2. Like, can I don't know, train a technician so he could calculate algebra faster? I don't know. I'd like a unit that just costs 1 or 2, just so I can fill that last little spot. But a strategy everybody seems to be using is brute jump jets with trip mines for their special. I haven't used it, but because I didn't know about it until this weekend. Let's see here. On Thursday, to prepare for the weekend, because it was gonna be so freaking hot this weekend, I covered up. I redid my window. I just had like a blackout curtain. I think I mentioned this before. I had a blackout curtain, and it just got so damn hot in this room. So what I also did this time was I got new blackout curtains because, oh man, those things were burnt out. They're like half white. I don't realize I didn't put a picture up online, but you can just see the curtain was like black, and then the other half of it was like white because the sun bleached it. It's crazy. Because I needed two of them, so they're like overlapping. Anyways, I also got like a reflective film to cover the window up, and it's supposed to reflect UV and heat out of the room. And you know what? Over the weekend, it's been pretty good. The first day, on Friday when I got back from work, I found the curtain on the ground, so it got so hot that it fell down. But now that I think about it, what ended up happening was I probably just didn't stick the curtain up strong enough. So, because I mean, it survived Sunday. Sunday was like 120 some degrees over here in Arizona, and I got a picture on the old Twitter there, the Instagram, where it shows that it's like 116 at that time, which is like 6 o'clock at night, but it actually felt like 121, which is stupid. And then a picture. I take a picture of the sun, and then it just looks like a picture of hell because it's just dark. It's dark, and then there's a sun in the center, or not in the center, but it's up there in the sky. So I guess that's kind of what hell would look like, a dark, dismal area, but still bright and burning, like Arizona. So that worked out. The window worked out nicely. I got those curtains on Wednesday. Before I got the curtains, I had to walk over to Home Depot. I walked over to Home Depot from where I took my mom's car to get... Why are you detecting drop samples? Have you been doing this whole time and I just haven't been paying attention? Anyways, resampling to match device sample rate. I wonder if I just didn't change the sample rates right. Anyway, so on Wednesday, I took my mom's car in to get the radiator flushed. Always make sure and check that you're putting the right fluid in your radiators. It was dark on Monday. I mean, like real dark. And she said I needed fluid in my radiator. So I went and I put fluid in the radiator. And then I got a flashlight and I saw that the radiator fluid that I put in it was red. It was for GM trucks, and that is not good. The red fluid is not good for a car that does not use red fluid. It uses green. So, and the fluids don't mix right, and some kind of acid thing happens, and it eats away at the hoses, or I don't know, something bad happened. So I said, fuck. And I took the car to get the radiator flushed. And while the car's getting the radiator flushed, I walked over to Home Depot and I got the window stuff. On the way back, there was a Krispy Kreme donut. I don't eat sweets that often, but when I do, I have one. I even don't like filled donut. I don't like donuts that are filled with stuff. I don't like the texture of it. But this one was a raspberry filled glazed donut, and man, that was delicious. I took that back to the waiting room of the mechanics shop, and I ate it in there. Now, before I went to get her radiator flushed, at like 5:15 in the morning, my mom wakes me up saying that my car door is open. My passenger car door was open, and then so was her driver's side doors. Those were open too. Well, it turns out on Tuesday I forgot to lock the doors. For some reason I forget. If I don't drive the cars, I just forget to lock the doors in general, I guess. Because she wanted me to check the car, what kind of motor oil it was. And I forgot to lock the door. So some bitch came around and he found the door. The cars were unlocked and he went through them. I didn't mind too much because I don't have anything in my car at all worth stealing. Nothing. I mean, I got my pizza bags. One of them's like $80 because it's like a real nice insulated bag. I didn't pay for it, but it's a really nice bag, and they didn't take them. They didn't take my USB drives. They didn't take my radio because it's a shit old radio anyways, and it's bolted into the car. So it's not like it's going to be easy. I mean, I'm amazed they didn't take my screwdriver and a nice Phillips in there. But from my mom's car, they took her Raiders jacket. Kind of surprising, right? A criminal stealing a Raiders jacket. And there was a binder. This binder. My grandmother has Alzheimer's and dementia, and she's in an assisted care facility. And this binder, my mom just happened to take into the car. She usually doesn't keep it in the car because there's no reason to. But she needed to do something for my grandmother, so she had it in the car at the time. This binder has all of her medical, social security, bank account information in there, power of attorney, so on and so forth. Her whole life was in there, and that some bitch took it. So Officer, I almost said his name. I don't think I should say his name, right? This gentleman officer came by, and my mom goes to work, and I call the police, and the gentleman comes by, gentleman officer. And he starts, asking the questions. He's taking pictures. He said, make sure I didn't move anything, which I kind of did, but I stopped. And I said, nope, no more. I don't really move anything. Anyways, focus here. So he starts, he does the whole routine, and he's going through the fingerprints, and he's getting all the information. And then he says, all right, well, I'm going to go fill out a report. He goes, if we catch the guy, do you want us to send him to jail? And I said, yes. He took my grandmother's binder. I go, it's one thing that he broke in. He went into the cars that weren't his, He went in through the cars that weren't his, and he dug around. But it's another thing but it's all together that he took my grandmother's binder. So that guy needs to go to jail. So he says, okay. So he goes and he fills out the police report, and he comes back to me and he says, so you got your stuff. And I go, what? I go, my police report? No. We got your stuff. It turns out, as he was driving over to my house, the officer, another officer arrested the guy who went through the cars. Turns out a couple 100 yards away, somebody called the police on a man of suspicious behavior, and he had a prior warrant for his arrest. So they arrested him and the lady in his car, and they found items matching the description of my stuff. So they arrested that guy, and he's in jail now. So that I really lucked out on that thing, man. I really lucked out on that. If it was a lottery, if that kind of luck went towards the lottery, I'd buy my grandmother a new identity. But that is so great. You don't ever want to deal with a police officer, because most likely it's because they pulled you over for speeding. But it all just worked out so well. He shortly after he gave me the police report, he left to the substation to pick up my mom and my grandmother's stuff, and then he gave me another report saying what they did with the guy. So that worked out great. Let's see here. Okay, and then after that, I made the appointment to get the radiator flushed, and I got the stuff for the window. Thursday, man, I woke up late. I woke up like 10 minutes before my scheduled shift at work. So by the time I got to work, it was like 6 o'clock. And as I was driving to work, they called me to make sure that I was on my way to work, or that I remembered that I had a shift, which I usually don't know because I don't ever check the schedule. But my schedule's always been the same for like the last couple of months. But I got to work and I did my shift and everything, and I believe the shift went by real quick because it was slow. And then Friday I stuck around longer, but I was late. And the manager asks, like, Nick, did you just get here? And I go, no, I've been here. I've been waiting on my wings. I mean, I was there for like 12 minutes, but that was still 15 minutes late for work. And then I was late again on Saturday, and then on Sunday, yesterday, as I'm clocking in, the manager tells me, Nick, man, you got to start coming in closer to being on time. And I just give him the thumbs up. I don't even look in his direction. It's one thing if you don't want to go to work. It's another thing if you hate your job. But if you have a job, you should at least put the effort in doing your job completely. You know, do your job right. Do your job. You should be on time. I should be on time. There's no reason I should be late. I don't like my job, but my job's not bad. It's not a bad job, but it's not something I want to do for the rest of my life. If it was, I would have already went to be a manager like months ago. I just didn't want to be there. Miserable at work. It's fucking hot. It was so goddamn hot. And the best part about Sunday is my AC didn't really kick in till like 2.5 hours after my shift. My AC's been working fine, you know, the last couple of weeks. And then on like Friday and Saturday, it didn't kick in till like a little later in the evening. And then on Sunday, it didn't kick in at all until like 7:30. And then once 7:30 hit, oh, that AC is cold as shit. Just cold. Cold as your ex-wife. Or I don't know. My niece's heart, as she would say. She has a black heart. I don't know but cold AC, you know, but not during those first 2.5 hours of working there. It was like 120 outside, and then it was like 135 in my car because of the heat, just from the wind, you know, the sun hitting through the window. The windows being up because I was trying to get the car to cool down. If I had it on circulate, the AC would not get cold. But if I had it on pass through, the AC would get a little cooler, but it just wouldn't get cold at all. And well, you know, I did my shift. I worked. I took my deliveries. I didn't complain about nothing, and it was fine because I saw everybody else was just miserable at the store. Everybody was hot. All the girls in the front were sweating, which is crazy because, you know, they're supposed to be AC, but, you know, they have double doors in the front, so I'm sure people just opening both doors at the same time, and all the heat's just going in. They sent one guy to go get ice because, you know, the machine wasn't being able to keep up. It didn't make me feel better that everybody looked miserable. Something about seeing other people unhappy, you know, really gets me going, really makes me feel better about whatever the situation is, so I don't really mind it as much. Or at all. You know, I feel a lot better. I feel better, I get more energy. I'm ready to tackle the day when I see other people miserable. In my general area. Worldwide, it doesn't help me at all. I guess that's all really the information there. I got a little bit of company news here. Not really much of anything. I got some new members in to the old Blazing Cowbell. Lost a few members. Some members came back. Some members left on their own. And they came back. Some members were discharged due to inactivity. And they came back. And it's funny, from what Sandman tells me, is they say, oh, I've been playing this whole time. I've been playing all along. But, you know, he goes through your activity, your game activity history, and he sees that you're not playing. And, it's kind of weird. It's like, what should we do? Because the only thing we can get now is the Achilles helmet, which the armor looks a lot cooler than the helmet. And I'll be honest, I'm not going to wear that helmet. I've been wearing my Legionnaire helmet for like the last 4 or 5 months since I got it. It's an uncommon helmet and I like it. And I'm not going to wear that Achilles helmet. The armor, I love my Anubis set. I love the wings on the Anubis set. But, the Achilles armor looks nice. It does look nice. And now that we got the Achilles armor, there's no real incentive for anybody to play anymore, I guess. I mean, the company commendation rec packs are garbage. There's like 4 items, 5 items, and 3 of those items are like a boost of some sort, and they're usually garbage boosts. I mean, sure, I think I did get a certification once, or I did get a legendary weapon once from a company commendation pack, but the odds of that happening ever again are far from up. I mean, hell, there's a better chance of me arresting a guy who goes through my car than getting a nice another legendary. The montage will be done this week. I'm putting that straight out there. I've been working on it pretty good the last couple of days, and what always takes the longest is I gotta figure out and learn new things. I'm pretty much a novice in After Effects, so when I want to add something new, I gotta figure it out or learn how to do it. And there's not always a tutorial online, and if there is, it's behind like some kind of paywall. Of course, you should pay somebody for their knowledge, but you know what? I don't got the money for that. And a lot of these are just like, I don't know. They probably took it from somebody else. So I'm working on that. It's like I got like the non-related. That I got like there's the company members clips, and then there's all the other crap, and all the other crap takes the longest amount of time. The clips, I can easily edit those together real fast, no problem. Chunk them together and shove it into the other thing. But to get all that other buildup, all that other video stuff going, that's what takes the longest. So I saw a clip. Sandman sent me a clip. I'm not going to use it because it's an infection clip. Some people only send infection clips, but Sandman sent me 4. So I got 2 real good clips of his. And there's like a 30-second limit. But this one clip, man, he throws a sparkle grenade. That's what I call the I don't remember, the Promethean grenade. Because it's just like little sparkles in the air. Anyways, he throws one, and like 3 people run into it, so they all die instantly because the infected are real weak. And then he gets a few more kills, and he survives the clock, so he's the survivor. And he gets first place, and then he just starts teabagging, and a guy right in the end just comes and assassinates him. Just gets the sword right in his back and just picks him up in the air. Yeah, that's good. I think that's it. 50 minutes, 53, 54 minutes of catching up about last week. Hopefully next week will be a bit more, I don't know, happier tone. I'm not sure what word I'm going for here. Upbeat. I think it started off pretty good, and then it just kind of went a little downhill. But next week, hopefully I'm talking about how people like the montage and stuff. How people like the montage and how I did other things. Other things. Other things. I don't know. There's one little thing that I wanted to talk about that has nothing to do with anything, and what it is it's I want to start doing stuff, going to events and whatever, and there is one thing that I wanted to go to. Of course, I didn't even see it till like last night, I try to go to sleep, and it's apparently a comedy show that's tonight, but it's in like California, so there's no fucking way I can go. But it's gonna have like Ray Romano, Brian Regan, Bill Burr, Dana Carvey, Louis Anderson, Bob Saget, and John Lovitz. All those guys I've enjoyed in one form or another. I was like, that's one hell of a show. And then it's hosted by Arsenio Hall. That's incredible. You know, that is one hell of a show. And that would have been something great to see. I hear John Lovitz is. Oh my God! You know what I'm going to talk about right now? Speaking of, I didn't even mean John Lovitz. I meant Louis Anderson. Now I'll bring this up because Louis Anderson is in a show where he plays a mother. I don't know anything about the show but that, but apparently it's really great. But what I saw on, I think it was Thursday, when I got back from work, my mom was asleep and the TV was on, and she was watching, I think, Blackish or something, you know, with Anthony Anderson. That's a good show. It's got Morpheus in it as the grandfather, Lawrence Fishburne. Anyways, there was a show that she was watching, and it was at the end of the show, and I didn't really know what the hell was going on. And it was another all-black cast. And it's really interesting how ABC's like, all their shows are like black now, or was it Off the Boat, right? The whole cast is Asian, Korean, I think. And that's another good show. I don't remember the guy's name, but the guy who plays Kim Jong-un in that movie with Seth Rogen, and man, I'm doing terrible with names. Anyways, it was a big hubbub last year. He plays the dad. So anyways, I'm watching the show, and I'm trying to figure out like what the hell's going on in this show. Something about Girl Scout cookies and parents arguing or whatever, and I couldn't figure out the guy's name until I looked it up later. But Mike Epps, and I enjoy Mike Epps, and so I was like, oh well, if he's in the show, I'm gonna see what's going on here. And it's weird because it's like the way he's in the show, almost as if he's a ghost. It's like nobody really. It's like there was no solid like interaction with him. Like he says shit, but nobody acknowledges it right away. You know, you know. It's like nobody interacts with what he's saying. I mean, sure, he's like, "I got you a present," and he hands it to the girl, and then there's that slight interaction, and then he moves into the back of the room, and then the parents talk, and he's just like back there. It's weird. So I didn't know what the hell was going on. And I was like, what is this? And then afterwards, you know, during the credits, they say, don't miss next week's episode of Uncle Buck. What? What? Uncle Buck? They made a show of John Candy's movie from the 80s. Unnecessary. They made a show of John Candy's movie from the 80s. They almost Ghostbustered it. I like Mike Epps, but look, if you named the show anything else, it would be great. But the fact that it's named Uncle Buck, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth. I only saw 5-10 minutes of the show, so I don't know anything. But again, because it's named Uncle Buck, it gives me the wrong impression. I don't know any other actor in that show except for Mike Epps who plays Uncle Buck. And it didn't look like he played a filthy degenerate like John Candy. It looked like he played a clean? No. I don't know, man. He clean. It didn't look like he played a bad role model. Is that the right word? Is that what John Candy was? A bad role model? I didn't even see if his car, you know, had terrible exhaust. I don't know. I'm sure I won't be able to. I'm sure I won't see any more episodes of it just because I don't watch TV in general. But it made me a little sad. It's like with you know, they're remaking Jumanji, but with The Rock. But they don't say who The Rock is playing. Some people are saying he's gonna replace David Alan Grier's character, who was the top shoemaker turned police officer, because of Robin Williams' character ruined the shoe business technically, or ruined his career because he put that shoe on the conveyor belt, and it ruined one of the machines, and the guy got fired, and it ruined his shoe. But then again, it's also like, you know, The Rock replacing Brendan Fraser in Journey to the Center of the Earth, or The Rock in the second G.I. Joe movie replacing the entire cast, one of which being Brendan Fraser in the G.I. Joe movie. There's a lot of Dwayne Johnson in the movies to come. Uncle Buck. Final words, Uncle Buck. Uncle Buck is not a movie that should be a show. Oh, that was a lot of rambling. All right then, an hour long video again, an hour long podcast. I don't really think anybody listens to these, but I don't give a shit. The whole purpose of me doing this is for myself, and to put the fact that I'm going to hold myself accountable for stuff I apparently got to finish doing eventually, right? So that's it for this week. I might need more cowbell. God, it's so fucking hot outside. Oh, one last thing. I got a pair of goggles, you know, that cover my eyes and my nose, so I can go swimming. I don't remember if I mentioned I can go swimming or not, or if I don't remember mentioning this, but I can't swim. I literally sink like a rock. My bones are so dense that I cannot float at all. And getting into the water is like I'm constantly being pulled down to the depths of this pool. So I got some goggles so I can just walk on the bottom. But because I don't like opening my eyes, and I cannot go underwater without covering my nose. So that's gonna be fun stuff. Until next week, hope you guys have a good one. I'm going to be streaming Halo Wars 2 until Wednesday, and then I'll probably go back to Tomb Raider. So, take care. Bye-bye. See ya.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what? Oh, my God. Yeah, he was smacking them around.
That's messed up.
I just spawned in the line flank.
That's just messed up.
Nah, show them no mercy.
Calm down.